Speaking of that Syracuse team, I'm telling you, they are a feel-good story, not in this league, but nationally. And one of the good stories on top of that is our next guest, Georgia Woolley, joins us doing her thing up there. And there she is. Georgia, first of all, thanks for joining us. What's going on with you guys? I mean, it just seems like, you know what? It doesn't matter if anybody else doesn't believe in us. I know this much. That locker room does. That home crowd does. You guys are really, really a feel-good story. What's it feel like having a front row seat?
Thank you for having me, first of all. Yeah, we just, at the end of the day, we know that we believe in ourselves, our coaching staff believe in us, and the community believe in us, and that's really all we need to do what we do.
You're not surprised in at all about what's going on, are you?
No, because, other people obviously sometimes doubt you, but we knew what our potential was and what we could do coming into this season and then continuing as we go. So nothing's a surprise. Yeah.
All right, so we talked earlier, Packer and I, about the Louisville game from last night and how crazy that ending was. And you guys were able to dig out of a 10-point deficit there in the third quarter to get this one done. And this is a team that just 10 days before, you had gone to their place and lost. So what happened between then and yesterday? How do you take that loss? How did you guys take that loss and apply it to yesterday? Because it's such a short amount of time to be able to get that redemption against a team like that.
Yeah, obviously after the game at Louisville, we came together, watched film, and figured out some things that we knew that we could control, one of those being from the free throw line. And it was only 10 days, so we had to have that mindset where we just had to forget what had just happened. Not forget, but learn from it and then take that into yesterday's game, and I think we did that.
Georgia, when we see highlights of your team and watch your team play, obviously Deja Fair is such a spectacular scorer. And there's times that she just does things, whether she's got the ball or not, that you can't keep your eye off her. But it's also a testament to your team about everybody stepping up and making plays. Do you ever find yourself just kind of watching her do her thing? I mean, what's it like playing with her?
Yeah, it's amazing playing with Dee. It's my third year now playing with her, and she just has the ability to do things that you're like, oh, you better take that. Oh, she made it. So she's just a special type of player, and she's so much fun to play with, and she makes us all better. So it's great.
Hey, that three that they just showed from literally the M and the JMA, even after that shot, Coach Walls was standing right there. He even gave her a high five because it was just so ridiculous. At the buzzer, walk it off. It was really cool. You mentioned how you've been playing with her for 3 years. That's because you were part of the crew that came over from Buffalo to Syracuse, which means with Deja and, of course, with your coach, Felicia Leggett-Jack. Why did you want to follow her to Syracuse? What kind of coach that is? The impact she's had on you and what it's like playing for her.
There's just so much you can say about Coach Jack. She's had such an impact on me, not just as a player, but as a person. And that's the real reason I came to play for her at Buffalo and came all the way to America was for her. So then coming to Syracuse was a no-brainer for me. And playing for her every day, I learned something new about myself and about this game, and it's an honor to play for her.
When we had Deja on a couple of weeks ago, we asked her, what do you remember about your first encounter with Coach? Because she wasn't highly recruited, right? So she had this encounter with Coach, and she remembered it very vividly about her coming to watch some of her games. What was your first encounter? Did she come to Australia to come watch you play?
Yeah, my recruiting process was different. Obviously, that was around COVID time, so it was just on the phone. But straight away, I just knew, that's the coach for me. Her energy and her passion is just unmatched, and that's what it was. It was a Zoom call with my family, probably at 6 a.m. or 11 p.m. But that's what it was. Yeah.
We've gotten used to that Australian-Syracuse connection. What's it like making that transition? I mean, from Australia to Central New York?
It's cold. It's real cold. I wasn't prepared for it.
How you really feel.
I was not prepared.
You mean they didn't tell you that in the recruiting pitch, that it gets a little chilly at times in Central New York? I mean, you can't be that shocked. Oh.
Yeah, they may have forgot that part. No, they didn't. But it definitely wasn't anything I'm used to. Never had seen snow before coming to America or anything like that. So, but I'm getting used to. I I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting used to it, but
You learn to live in it. You learn.
Yes,
You
that.
figure it out.
So the first time you saw the snow, were you like, all right, what's the deal here? I mean, what are you guys doing, right? I mean, what happened there?
I loved it the first few times. After that, I was like, okay,
We're done
I'm good
with
now.
this.
But
Yeah, we're done. We've tapped out on that. As far as the basketball stuff goes, do you guys have conversations about winning the ACC, or is it just like, hey, we don't worry about this stuff? You know, we just play the next game, and it is what it is. But I mean, for Syracuse, again, I know that double bye is incredibly important when we get to the ACC tournament. But man, you're in a great spot. You're one game out from being in first place in the standings, and you go down the schedule here. Man, it looks manageable, quite frankly, given all the ranked teams in the league. 5 teams in this week's AP Top 20, for that matter. But what's the conversation like in the locker room about the big picture for Syracuse?
we obviously have our goals and where we want to see ourselves go this season, but we try to remain where our feet are, and that's whatever game we have next. So we have Miami next, and we just have to get prepared for that because we don't go anywhere unless we win the next game and the game after that. So it's just really right now maintaining where our feet are and staying in the moment.
What about for you personally? You had a great game this past game, 14 points, 6 rebounds, and that dub over the Cards, round 2 against them. What's been working for you differently this season? Anything that you can put your finger on?
I just try and bring whatever I can for the team, and I think that I've really tried to develop my defensive game. I know that we play really well when we play good defense and we get out and we run, and I really like to try and pride myself on defense. I find that a lot of fun. So that's been one of my keys this season, obviously scoring the ball as well and being that person on the team, but really try to lock into defense.
You know, right before we brought you on, we had Anna DeWolf on from Notre Dame, and she transferred from Fordham. And Taylor asked her a question about where you find a great bagel, and we followed up with pizza and all that stuff. If you were to invite us to your hometown in Australia, where would you take us out to eat?
I don't even know. Like, the cafes just be so good. I just love a good cafe breakfast. I couldn't even tell you a specific place because I love breakfast. Breakfast is one of those places for me, so some type of cafe.
All right, so like, what do we get? Just eggs, bacon, and that routine, or is there something in Australia that we need to try?
Vegemite on toast?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys would like that, but you could try
I hate
it.
I tried it. I'm out.
No, I love it. I like a good brekkie burger. People love a nice...
Excuse me. Hey, whoa. Run that one by me again. What was that one?
A brekkie burger.
What is that?
a breakfast burger. So like some eggs, some bacon, some, whatever you put on what do you guys call it? A breakfast sandwich?
It's a breakfast sandwich.
All right.
I just enjoyed watching Pac try to decipher that.
I've never been to Australia. That's on my to-do list. So I'm just kind of curious where you'd take us. I mean, there would be something that we'd have to try in Australia.
Yeah, I think you just have to go to the beaches. The Gold Coast is nice. I love the beach, so I'm not too far from the beach, like an hour from the good beaches in Queensland, but I feel like the beaches are unmatched, so you'd have to go there.
So the beaches of Australia to central New York. I mean, you have gone from one end of the spectrum to the other, Georgia. You know that? I mean, I don't know if you could go any further to the far right or to the far left than what you just described. I don't know if you could do that.
It's a long flight.
I know probably people have asked you this, but obviously you have the same name and the first name in Georgia, but obviously Georgia Amore from Australia as well and doing her thing in the ACC. Is there a connection at all when you're playing youth basketball over there in Australia, or you don't know each other?
I never played against her. She was that couple age groups older than me growing up in juniors, and she was from another state, so I've never actually played against her until the ACC.
Interesting.
I would have thought everybody would know everybody, right?
It's such and I think that's a very
world is so tight.
It's also a misconception that everyone's from like the same place, right? That's like me being from Florida and someone being from California kind of deal.
I don't know. It just seems to me everybody playing sport kind of knows everybody, especially if you've got talent. I mean, obviously, this scenario is 2 talented people.
Right.
Incredible. Playing the same sport.
Can't be included in that conversation. Who's your basketball idol? I mean, being from over there, is there someone you watch specifically?
I wouldn't say I have a specific basketball idol. I watch a lot of basketball, and I think I try to like get bits of different people's games from it, but I wouldn't say I have a specific basketball idol.
All right, so go ahead and build the perfect basketball player for us, and based on what you like and what you want to steal from here and here and here. What would that person look like? What would the skills be?
I'd like a little bit more vertical jump. That would be good. I'd like a little more of that. For me personally, a good height. I like the height I'm at. I think it's a good height for the guard position. Quickness, defensive ability, and you gotta be able to shoot. I feel like everyone's gonna say something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen.
He wants the bunnies.
You know, I'm not going to just point this out, but I will anyhow. 10-3 in the league, 1 game behind Virginia Tech. I know you said, hey, the feet are where they are. We're worried about Miami. That's up next. But I'm just telling you, from the outsider, where it's not snowing down here in Charlotte, you guys have been a great story, not only within the league, but from a national perspective. And you should take a great deal of pride in that. Can't wait to see how this regular season and the postseason plays out, but continued the great work. We appreciate you joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You got it.
Thanks, Georgia.